I know I'm probably the last person you expected to defend this character, because I did say while he would be good and extremely fun to play, possibly also especially for free-to-play players out there, you could skip on the character. You could skip on him, and I gave you guys a list of reasons why. Now I'm getting the opposite side. Kazuha feels super underwhelming when I play him, especially in the trial mode. Well, friends, that is because you don't know how to use Swirl correctly. If you're just running around doing damage with him with this build that they have him in the trial, in a lot of the ways you're going to build him in EM, Swirl does insane damage now, and he's only level 80 in the trial. If you have him at level 90 with an EM build, going from 80 to 90 will increase your Swirl damage by 35%, which is a huge deal. Now, if you're just running up in here, running around and go, oh man, look at these guys, I'm just gonna go in here and do damage, that is terrible. Don't do that. And if you feel like he's underwhelming for that, that's because you don't know how Swirl works. If you guys want to see the full breakdown on Swirl, all the moves, all the information, all that cool little combo wombo stuff, check that video out. But here's what you do with Swirl. You wet something. Thanks, Barbara. You're finally useful in the trial, and then you swirl electrocharge and everything. Oh, look, they're all dead now. Crazy. How crazy is that? Go over here, wet this guy, let the electro guy come on over, spread the electrocharge. Look at that. Look at this. Suck them all in, throw them all down, electrocharge them all again. This is an obvious, one of his best teams, actually. Now you have a cryo, and then you have a wet little pyro guy. So obviously you can't just go in there willy-nilly right now. You don't have someone to reinitiate the pyro damage, but that wet will wear off. And guess what we're gonna be able to do here? Come on, little pyro slime. You can do it. I believe in you. Get all angry. Get all angered up, man. All right, now that he's all angered up, check this out. You take the pyro with the cryo, and you swirl and you melt everything. Oh my god, and you melt them all again, and now they're dead. Crazy. Also, these little torches, those also count as pyro, so then you can melt again your own swirl and just absolutely dominate. Thank you so much, sir. Dominate the world. And it's these kind of different mechanics, and mastering Swirl is what makes Swirl so strong. Electrocharging everything just with the E tap, just with the tap of the E. Put something wet. Once again, you could proc your elemental burst if you want to, suck them all in there, and then in there with the hold, come back down, electrocharge, melt on there. Poor little cryo slime killed the big bad pyro slime already. But remember, this guy's little torch, that's pyro damage, so we just go whoop, whoop. Oh, look, and so he's going to be a joy to play. He is actually really, really strong of a character. I've never said that he was a bad character. He's just your Animo Swirl character. If you already have those ones out there, and if you're a free-to-play player, that's what that conversation was about. That was the rest of the video that lasted beyond the first 10 seconds when you let yourself go down there and leave a hasty "I can't believe you said Kazuha's bad" comment, even though in the first 10 seconds I didn't say it was bad. I did say that a lot of people were having a lot of negative attitudes, and we're going to skip him, rightfully so, for a lot of reasons out there. That's really what that video was about. But they have him kind of built up correctly here. The Freedom Sworn is a good sword there. It is barely better in an EM build than just the Iron Stinger, so go ahead and get the Iron Stinger out there instead. And then artifact selection, Viridescent Vendor set is always going to be his best set, especially for a Swirl EM build. It gives you that swirl damage increase, and it decreases the elemental resistance of the enemies of that type that you're swirling. So that's a very important thing here, right? Because if you take a look in a book reading Rainbow Style, when you swirl, you don't swirl animo damage. You do animo damage because your skill does animo damage, but you swirl damage is the type of the element that's on an enemy. You're going to get damage bonus from your EM for not just the swirl, but also the electrocharged or the superconduct or the overload. All of that stuff really actually matters there. And then on top of that, for those moments where you're vaporizing and melting, well, your swirl's getting buffed up by your elemental mastery, as well as your Viridescent 4-piece bonus. But on top of that, not only is your swirl base damage going up because of this giant increase there, your vaporize and melt damage is actually increased by your elemental mastery as well, which is why when you see people do these big bad builds for Swirl, it all works out very well in the end. Things just kind of pop off, things just kind of get gone, things just kind of die, right? We have a hydro infused right there, and then we're just going to be going in and going out, and then going in and going out, melting, vaporizing, electrocharging, whatever it is that you want to do on this character. That is definitely what you want to do. Felt like I needed to make this video. The full guide's coming out because I know a lot of players are coming in here and go, wow, look at me do my damages, and you got the swirl. Sometimes you didn't get that swirl, but swirl with the wet and the electrocharge, that's when you start doing the big damage there, because you're starting to electrocharge everything. You can melt, vaporize, whatever it is you want to do under the sun. That's where all of his damage comes from in his EM build. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there aren't going to want to build him EM. Hey man, if that's how you want to enjoy Genshin Impact, you do you, boo. All right, you do it however it is that you want to do it there. But the whole EM melt thing, that is very, very strong. If you guys want to build them for a sub DPS, I'll have the math on that one there. You'll probably be surprised just how much damage you can actually do with a straight EM build in large AoE damage situations, because all of that stuff just reinforces itself over and over and over and over. EM buffing your swirl, it's buffing the melt and vaporize, it's buffing maybe overload or electrocharge, whatever sort of team you're doing, it's buffing it all up by an insane amount. And it's definitely worth looking into using a full EM build on Kazuha for that simple situation and reason there. On top of that, it's also pretty easy to get the gear in conjunction with, you know, normally like getting substats and stuff. That's so hard. You just get the main stat, right? Beat your face into the viridescent Venver set. Like, your substats don't matter all that much. If you want to get a little bit of crit rate and a little bit of crit damage on an EM build, go for it. But the benefit of an EM build is once you get that main stat EM piece to drop, you can just take it to 20. All right, just beat your face into the wall until it drops, and then you won't have to worry about those substat rolls ever again, because you don't really care about them. And on top of that, the EM build, Freedom Sword, you can use that, or you can just use the Iron Sting. The Freedom Sword is literally just a tiny bit better. We have the spreadsheets to show all of this stuff. I'm waiting to do that for you guys tomorrow. Obviously, the full guide for Kazuha will be up there, but I want to play around with them more. And yeah, the trial thing, like I said, it was the easiest way. The banner just came out, and I got some other stuff to do. So the easiest way for me to get in there and show you some level 80 Kazuha gameplay was just to show you how Swirl works in action with Kazuha there. All right, the last defender of Kazuha, apparently me, myself. Apparently I'm coming out saying, which I know a lot of you guys probably never thought I would ever do, even though, because I don't know. Because apparently all I've ever said is that he's bad, even though I've never said that. I just said that he might be replaceable if you're a free-to-play player out there. He does a lot of similar analogous things to Sucrose or Venti in Genshin Impact, especially after 1.6 there. Hope you guys have fun with Kazuha. If you guys are pulling for him, hope you get them, have fun. And as always, the information on this channel is for you to be used at your digression, man. We just want you to have all the fun that you can have with all the knowledge as well. And, you know, put a little input in there sometimes for you guys so you get the most bang for your Primo Gem bucks. Until then, guys, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.